So last night I had a bunch of friends come over, and I want to just share with you guys a couple thoughts that I'm just really feeling right now. Last night we kind of all gathered together to eat some sushi. That was kind of the plan, is like, hey, let's do dinner together, let's go get sushi. And because we had a bunch of dogs with us, we decided to just get takeout and take it to my house. And we ate in the garden. There's a table outside with a little fireplace, and we have this little tree house thing with all these lights in it and stuff like that. So we were hanging out outside, and we were just laughing and chatting and eating dinner together, and it ended up being like 12:30, and I finally kicked everyone out, but we sat there at the table just like laughing, like belly laughing for hours. I mean, everyone came over at like 6:30, so it was hours of us just like sitting around the dinner table. And after we all finished sushi, I brought out some truffles and some plums from my tree, and we had a bunch of like fancy drinks, and we just were having a good time. And the center of it was conversation and us connecting, but the food was kind of the quote unquote excuse of us gathering together and being there at the table, and it kept us all there. And I think we just we get really down on food. I think our world is always just spilling out these negative messages of, oh my gosh, this food is going to do this, and you shouldn't have any carbs, and the dairy is mucus forming, and and meat is toxic, and it has all of these messages, these very harsh messages, mind you. It's never like, oh, maybe red meat is, good in moderation. It's like, red meat is toxic, right? Like, that's the type of messaging we get. It's like, there's no nuance with it. It's either good or it's bad. I feel like it's very unfortunate that we have that very strong toxic messaging around food, because in reality, I feel like we just need to be grateful for the food that we have. And like, what would change if we all of a sudden went from fearing food, from being overly critical and analytical about food, what if we stepped out of that energy state with food, and what if we stepped into an energy state of love? And I was just talking about this in the Get Your Phone course. We do a group live every single Friday, and someone was saying, she was like, I have a really hard time, with this whole kind of seeing food as neutral and not over analyzing it. So she was like, what's the advice here? Like, what can I do to stop doing this? And I was like, well, number one, get into your heart. Get into this energy of gratitude for the food. You're over analyzing it. You're being so critical of it. And it's like, imagine if this was a relationship with a person. If you get super over analytical with a partner, or even just a friend, right? All of a sudden, everything's going to annoy you about that person. The way that they talk, the way that they chew gum, the way that they smack their lips, the way that they roll the toilet paper, the way it's like, oh my gosh, you all of a sudden, when you're coming from an analytical, judgmental lens, I mean, everything they do is going to be annoying. They're a human being. We can be annoying, right? But it's only annoying when you're being super hyper focused and analytical about it and judgmental about it. But what's the difference then when you step into a relationship where you're just, there's so much love there, and you choose to love them despite the lip smacking and the toilet paper rolling up in the wrong way and the socks on the floor, or whatever it is. When you choose to just be super grateful for that person and for the energy that they provide you, for the love that they give, and you feel that love, then all of a sudden it's kind of like they have a lot of leeway with like what they can do. And I'm not saying like they can go and do bad things, but saying like the socks on the floor all of a sudden don't become annoying when you absolutely just have love in your heart for this person. It just becomes menial. It's like, what is this? No, that doesn't matter, right? And so I was telling Claire in the group, I was like, we need to step into love. We need to step into full-on love and gratitude for food. No more overanalyzing it. No more speaking negatively about it. This is something that is here to bring you more life, to nourish you, to sustain you, to bring you energy, to balance out your hormones. Like, food is here for sustenance. Like, we shouldn't be overly critical and analytical about it. Can we instead be so absolutely grateful for it? No matter where the food came from, no matter what the food is, it's sitting in front of us. Can we turn to gratitude? Because she's like, yeah, if I like, go out and eat, if I go out and just eat, meat at a restaurant, I don't know where it came from. I don't know, like, how they farmed it. And I get it. We can have that basic principle of like, I want to buy organic food. I want to buy, organic grass fed, and I want to support that. I'm totally for that. I think we can become orthorexic about it. Right. And that's kind of my point here is I'm like, in that moment though, where you're at the restaurant, you got invited to go out with friends and you're sitting at the restaurant, the food's in front of you. It's already there. It's already done. Okay. And I get it. We need to stop factory farming. I totally understand. I'm not saying I promote that, but it's also like learning how to be just grateful for the food that's sitting in front of you, because it's sitting in front of you. And at that point, the most respectful thing that you can do is to just have gratitude for that food and to fully accept it. So I invite you to focus on this week, or maybe just this day. It doesn't even have to be a week. It's this day. Next meal, just your next meal. Can you focus on tapping into your heart energy? Can you say, at least 5 things that you're grateful for in terms of like this food and what it's going to do for you? Can you step into that? It's an energy shift. Gosh, guys, I wish I understood earlier that this is all about energy. It's all about stepping out of the energy of restriction and deprivation and into the energy of abundance. It's all about stepping out of that energy of being hypercritical and judgmental and into the energy of gratitude. It's just an energy shift, and that energy shift literally changes everything. If you guys are wanting to learn more about this and you actually want to stay committed to your recovery journey so that you solidify these energy shifts, it's not just, I'm going to think about this, or maybe I can do it for one meal. It's like, I am continually shifting into this energy state, and I'm given the tools to do so, the meditations, the visualizations, the journal exercises, all those things to help me process this energetical shift. If you're wanting that, then this is exactly what I put in the Get Your Flow On course. I struggled for 11 years with my relationship with food and body. Everything I put in the course is things that I wish I knew and understood. I wish were, things that were opened up to me. Like, oh my gosh, wow, diet culture. Yeah, these messages, like, what is this? That's not true at all. And that's just bringing me harm. It's to be open to all that stuff and then to understand the different ways that food is nourishing to us and to see this in a whole different light, to learn how to tap into our feminine energy, which is the energy of nourishment, of receptivity. Can we receive food? Gosh, that's feminine energy right there. Anyways, it's really cool stuff. I go into detail in it in my course. There's 10 amazing, juicy, in-depth modules, the multiple different lessons and journal exercises and everything in the modules. And then you get access to right now, currently at this time of filming, there's 60 plus women in the group. And what's really cool about it, it's kind of a sad thing and also cool thing, but what's really cool is that a lot of the girls aren't active in the group anymore. And that's a cool thing because they're recovered. They've been in the group for a couple months and they're like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good after years of hating on their body, of not having a period, of being restrictive with food. After a couple months of being in the course and being in this container of women who are coming together to support each other through this journey, they're like, I'm good. So it's like, it's cool because I'm like, yes. And then it's also sad because we lose a lot of really beautiful, well, not lose, but we don't get to be around as often a bunch of these, beautiful souls that have come into the group and that have really, blessed the group with their energy and with their advice and their support and their love. But that's the goal of this, right? With all of my clients, with all the girls in the course, I'm like, I don't want to see you in a couple months. Like, not in a negative way, but in a, like, I want you to be thriving so much that, like, we don't need to see each other. Can you imagine what life would be like if you just literally didn't focus on eating disorder recovery anymore because you were recovered? It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. I'm at least right now feeling just like a lot of gratitude because I know just experiences like last night I never had when I was suffering with my eating disorder. Not to that full extent. Like, I would sometimes go to places, but I'd bring my own food, or I'd be really just, thinking about food the whole time and hypercritical about everything and worried about what they're going to bring to the table. And, it's just, I was never fully there. Like, I lived my life, I was just like this empty shell. Like, I would go and do these things, but I was never there. I never dropped in because I didn't know how to drop in. This is so foreign. My body was so foreign to me. I wasn't trying to drop in. I was trying to run away all the time by listening to all these diet people and these gurus telling me this is what I should do. And by listening to society telling me that my body should look a certain way. I was always outside of myself, so I never knew myself. Because I never was actually just like tuning in and being like, who am I? Part of my recovery journey was connecting to the most inner depths of my heart and my soul and my light, that inner light that all of us are born with. It was reconnecting to that and realizing like, wow, all this, all the things that I've been doing, the people pleasing, the perfectionism, all that stuff, like that has just been taken away from my light. And this light here is so beautiful. I want this to shine more. So I focused on how can my light shine more? And it wasn't by continuing to deprive myself through exercise and over-exercise, I should say, through over-exercise and restriction and deprivation. It wasn't that. So again, if you're being called to step into this journey of discovering who you truly are and how amazing life can be without an ED or without any disordered eating or amenorrhea, whatever label you put to it, that doesn't matter. You're here for a reason. You're listening to this video for a reason. I guarantee you the course was designed for you and for the things that you're going through. So if you're feeling called, there's a link down below. And I invite you into the course, into this community. I'm there all the time. I am really keen on helping everyone get through this. I'm there 24/7 to support you guys. Way more than I could ever be on social media. Doesn't even compare. Doesn't compare at all. So if you're ready to step into that, then again, I invite you into the course. For those of you guys who are in the course who are watching this, I absolutely love you guys. It's been so fun to get to know you guys and to help you and to just see you thrive. See the transformations being made. All right, I'm going to go, guys. Bye.